Did you know that right beneath the bustling streets of Seattle, an entire city sleeps? It's not a metaphor. I'm talking about a real, forgotten world of storefronts, sidewalks, and secrets buried for over a century. Today, we're going on an urban exploration like no other, deep into the heart of the Seattle underground. Before we descend, let's turn back the clock. Picture Seattle in the mid-1800s. It wasn't the gleaming tech hub we know today. It was a rugged, muddy logging town, built on tidal flats, literally at sea level. The town was built almost entirely of wood, which, as you can imagine, was a disaster waiting to happen. And the plumbing? Let's just say when the tide came in, the toilets would sometimes flush backwards. It was a messy, chaotic, and frankly smelly place to live. The city's founders knew they had a problem, but a solution wouldn't come until disaster struck. That disaster came on June 6, 1889. A young cabinet maker named John Back accidentally overturned a glue pot, which ignited some wood shavings. The fire spread with terrifying speed. Within hours, the Great Seattle Fire had consumed the entire central business district, over 25 city blocks, all gone. Miraculously, no one perished in the flames, but the city was reduced to ashes. Now, you might think this was the end of Seattle, but for the city's determined residents, it was a golden opportunity. This was their chance to rebuild and to do it right this time. They made two monumental decisions. First, all new buildings had to be constructed from stone or brick, not wood. Second, and this is where our story gets really interesting, they decided to raise the entire city. Think about that. They decided to lift the streets by 1 to 2 stories to get away from the muddy, swampy ground. So, while the new fireproof buildings were being constructed, the city simultaneously began building massive retaining walls and filling in the old street level. This was a colossal undertaking. Imagine walking out of your brand new 2-story brick building, only to find the street is now level with your second-floor window. This created a bizarre 2-tiered city. The new elevated streets were where the action was, but down below, the old sidewalks and the ground floors of the new buildings were still there, forming a network of subterranean passageways. For a while, this underground world was still in use. Merchants operated their businesses from these basement-level storefronts. People would climb up and down ladders to get between the old ground level and the new street level. It must have been a strange and chaotic time. You'd have wagons and people bustling on the new streets above, while below, life continued in a shadowy, covered world. For a few years, this underground labyrinth was a legitimate part of the city, but it was dark, poorly ventilated, and eventually deemed a public health hazard. By 1907, the city ordered the underground sidewalks and storefronts to be abandoned and sealed off. The skylights, those beautiful panes of purple glass you can still see embedded in the sidewalks of Pioneer Square today, were once the only source of light for this world below. Now, they were just reminders of a city that had been intentionally buried. Over the decades, this underground city was largely forgotten by the public. It became a repository for junk, a forgotten basement for the city above. Stories and legends began to grow around it, tales of a hidden world right under everyone's feet. It wasn't until the 1960s that a local journalist and historian named Bill Speidel started to rediscover and champion this lost part of Seattle's history. He saw the potential to share this incredible story and began lobbying to preserve what was left. Thanks to his efforts, guided tours began, allowing people to once again walk these forgotten paths. And that's what brings us here today. Walking through these tunnels is like stepping into a time capsule. You can see the original 19th century storefronts, their signs still faintly visible. You can stand on the old cobblestone sidewalks and look up at the purple glass skylights above, imagining the city life that once bustled here. You see old bank vaults, hotel lobbies, and saloons, all frozen in time. The air down here is cool and smells of damp earth and history. You can see the rough-hewn stone walls and the massive archways that were built to support the streets above. It's a tangible connection to the past, a reminder of the incredible resilience and ambition of Seattle's early pioneers. They didn't just rebuild their city after a devastating fire. They literally raised it from the mud and ashes. It makes you wonder what other secrets our modern cities hold. Every step we take on a city street could be on top of layers of history, stories just waiting to be rediscovered. The Seattle Underground isn't just a collection of forgotten tunnels. It's a monument to a city that refused to be beaten and chose to build its future, quite literally, on top of its past. So next time you find yourself in Seattle, wandering through the historic Pioneer Square, take a moment to look down at the sidewalk. Those panes of purple glass aren't just for decoration. They are windows into another time, portals to a lost city that still sleeps just a few feet below. It's an incredible piece of hidden American history, and a testament to the fact that sometimes the most amazing stories are the ones buried right beneath our feet. Thank you so much for joining me on this underground adventure. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations of forgotten places. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been to the Seattle Underground or if there's another hidden city you think we should explore next. Until then, stay curious.